And so since Pierce Street is a street that's never going to go anywhere, it's never going to go any farther, it's never going to be widened. I did notify the selectmen, who are the road commissioners, of this. I just think it's the best thing. So we're just asking for a waiver, 310 CMR 15.211, just to allow the soil absorption system to be less than 10 feet, but 9.2 feet from the property line, which is the street. Everything else conforms to the requirements of Title V. Okay,
Good.
did you hear all that?
We heard all of that.
Okay.
Any questions from the board or anybody on the call?
I just questions from Melissa. Any concerns from the Board of Health?
So no concerns from the health department at all regarding this proposal.
Great, granted that it is a failed system, so that's obviously a good thing to be jumping on it.
Okay.
Right, any other questions? Anybody want to make a motion regarding the proposal for 4 Pierce Street, the request for variance?
I'll make a motion in regards to the sales septic system on 4 Pierce Street. The Board of Health grants the waiver. Do I need to add anything else?
Do we need to make mention of it, the leach bed being less than 10 feet, more than 9.2 feet from the property line?
I thought that was the waiver. That's why we were doing the waiver, right? Okay.
That is it, exactly. Okay, motion been made. Do you hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you much. Motion made and seconded. Any other comments? In that case, we will vote. Mona?
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
Brenda?
Aye.
I also. Mr. Glossa, we accept that. Thank you for bringing this in front of us and grant the setback to the 9.2 feet as you proposed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, members of the board. And thank you, Melissa.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thank you much.
Aye.
Thank you. Good night.
Great. The next on our agenda is the annual permit for 2199 Main Street. Do we have anybody on line for this application?
Yes, we do.
We do. If you wouldn't mind, just introduce yourself, get your name and your address.
Yeah, my name is Veronica Marquis, and I am 2199 Main Street. Sorry, I'm a little bit dyslexic here. we moved in summer, so my husband is out picking up the kids from sports, so he can't join.
Oh, I understand. So give us a little background. Your application is for what animals are you applying for and what's your approach?
Yes, so we are looking to get chickens. So we understand that we can only have 6, no roosters. And my husband has worked on building the coop that's so far out in the back of our yard. We have the state forest behind us, so there aren't any neighbors. It's not like next to any neighbors, but we did have all the neighbors in our area sign, or at least they received the notification. And so far, as to my knowledge, there is no problems with any of them. So the coop is completed. That's when I sent in the pictures. That was kind of the beginning stages.
Okay. And has Melissa, has all the abutters been notified? We've received that paperwork, and the animal inspector has visited?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Perfect. No issues from the animal inspector?
No.
My knowledge. Yep.
Great. Yeah, they would have definitely let you know if there's anything they had questions on.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions from the board?
I don't have any.
Great. Are these you're planning on keeping them penned, or are they going to be free range, or what's your approach going to be?
We have them all fenced in because we have animals in our yard, so they're going to be in a closed.
Absolutely. Yeah, backing up to the state forest, hawks and coyotes. So,
Yeah.
okay. And no other comments? Anybody want to make a motion regarding the application for 2199 Main Street?
I'll make a motion in regards to the animal permit application, 2199 Main Street. The Board of Health grants the permit.
Great. Do we hear a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you much. Motion been made and second. Any other comments? And we will vote. We'll start with Mona,
Aye.
Brenda,
Aye.
Rachel.
Aye.
Perfect. And I also. So the application has been approved, and we wish you the best of luck with your chickens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
Congratulations.
All right. Next, we have lifeguard variance for LA Fitness. This we have seen before.
Yes, so this is a reoccurring variance. So LA Fitness is over in the Walpole Mall. It's a gym. So the idea with the variance there is that they have the front desk where the staff sits overlooks the pool through glass. And then they have a on-site CPO required at all times through their variance. So then I will put, here is last year's motion just for reference.
Mhm.
And they already have the AED on site because they're a gym.
Perfect. Yeah, I think the two things that I saw on here that we'd probably want to align with our kind of our standard wording is that one about the AED is at least one AED and just get rid of the be obtained. So at least one AED maintained in close proximity. I know there's the one right near their front desk. And then the last line, I think the last line recommends someone on staff to be first aid, a CPR AED trained. Is that something that I believe we've kind of gone down the road of requiring somebody? Is that something we have been doing?
Yeah, so I think that's
Yeah.
been consistent with what the last at last meeting that the motions were for
Okay.
the other pools.
Yeah, so I think that would be the wording. We'd probably want that instead of recommend somebody, it's requiring somebody during the hours the pool is open.
Which I believe for this specific pool, that wouldn't be an issue at all because they have that on site already.
Awesome. Cool. Any other comments from anybody while we're looking at it? Anything that we have discussed that we want to add to?
I mean,
Sorry,
I had a
Mona.
question for the health department. Knowing the history of LA Fitness, are they conforming with all the requirements, the town's health department requirements? Because they've had certain issues in the past. So I just want to make sure that we didn't have any incidents within the past year.
So the last time I was out for their check was for March for their quarterly check, and they were good at that point. They did a lot of within the past year has been the locker rooms. However, at that point in March, they did switch over to new cleaners. And I think that it's been very, when I went out in March there, I did notice a big difference, and we haven't had any issues since then, since they've switched over to this new, it's actually a husband and wife team that does it. So that's been a big improvement. I haven't been out for their pool inspection this month. I was going to go out this week before the board meeting, but they're actually currently getting the pool drained, and then they're getting new main drains installed. So I'll go out next week once they're installed to make sure I can test those as well. And I'll do their full pool inspection. So of course, to get their pool permit issued for the May 31st deadline, they'll have to pass the opening inspection.
Okay.
Those drains and all that, the work they're doing is planning on being done by the 31st?
Yes, yeah. So she gave me the timeline. It's being done this week. She gave me the dates that they're coming, and then she'll have the documentation to me by Friday, she said. And then next week I'll go out for the inspection early next week.
Okay. All right. Any other comments from anybody?
Mhm.
Okay, in that case, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion in regards to the LA Fitness lifeguard variance. The Board of Health is has no issues granting a lifeguard variance for this year with the end with the expiration of May 31st, 2024, pending passing a pool inspection from the health department and reiterating all the conditions from last year. Also, instead of recommending that someone on the staff would be CPR, first aid, and AD certified, would like to make that as a requirement for this year.
Very good. I think that covers that. Very good. Do you hear a second? I will second it. Any other comments? Perfect. Then we will vote on the granting the variance with the slight modifications in the wording and the passing of the inspection. Mona,
Aye.
Brenda,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
and I also. So the variance has been granted, again, pending any inspection. And then what do we have next? Body art regulations. This is a new one, huh?
Yes, so this came up recently. So we actually have someone that's currently actively applying for a body art establishment permit. So it came through that she has apprentices that she wants to get licensed. So the idea was that they're not full practitioners, so they wouldn't be applying for the full practitioner license. But of course, we want to have oversight over who is performing body art and who is working at these establishments. So I did reach out to the director over in Boston who oversees the tattooing and body art, just to get an idea of what they do, just to kind of see if we're in line with what other communities do. And so this is very in line with what they do. So the idea is that they would need all the necessary training requirements that practitioners have. So that would be the bloodborne pathogen training, first aid and CPR. And then if you're doing body piercing, you need the anatomy course. And then if you're doing tattooing, you need this course on skin diseases and conditions. And then of course, if you're doing body piercing and tattooing, you need both. The only thing that they would be missing that the body art practitioner has is the experience. So they wouldn't have a permit from a different community. They wouldn't have the necessary hours. They'd be working under a licensed body art practitioner who has that experience. And then once they reach what our experience levels are required, then they would be able to apply for the body art practitioner license. And then the only, so we recommended a $50 fee. So our practitioner license is $100 fee per practitioner.
Okay.
So the idea is that it's slightly less because they're most likely, they're not getting paid as much because they are practitioners. So that was definitely our mindset for that recommendation, but definitely open for any comments on that as well.
Do you know if they have to do so many apprentice hours to be licensed?
Yeah, so that's within our regulation. So under, I think it's so this is section 11 that we'd be adding, and under section 10 in the body art regs is the practitioner license. And to get your practitioner license, you have to have the so many, whatever hours, so many procedures done, or there's a couple different options, like you can have a license in another community that you've had for at least a year. So for these apprentices to get a practitioner license, they'd have to meet the requirements detailed in section 10 that we have for our body art practitioners needed.
Okay. Any other questions? Right, well, we would vote to approve the new regulations. Does it have to go from there? Where does it go? Right into our regs as passed, or is there any other hearings or open comment periods or anything?
So no, when we open it, then it would be updated as our regulation like we did the last time. But then we
Okay.
would also need to vote to implement the apprentice license and then obviously the fee associated. And then that fee is publicized in the paper upon the approval from the board.
Gotcha. Do we 3 independent motions or one motion covering all 3?
I think one motion covering all 3 is fine.
Okay. I will make a motion regarding the body art establishment regulations that the Board of Health accept the new wording for the apprenticeship, as well as the apprentice license fee, and what was the third thing?
The
There was a-
Just the
application.
implementation of the
Application. Perfect, and the application of the apprentice license. So there'll be 3 things to vote on.
I'll second that.
Perfect. Motion been made and seconded. Any other comments, clarifications? Perfect. Then we will take a vote. We'll go Brenda,
Aye.
Ramona,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
and I also. So the new regulations, the application process, and the fee are all approved by the board. Thanks so much for adding that in. That's a great thing. It's one of those catch-22s. You can't have license until you get experience. You can't have experience until you're licensed. It's a tough one. So that's a good approach. Thank you.
I'm surprised we didn't think of that when we first did the regulations.
Yeah, it's something that, as we had someone apply, it came up. So, it was something that we needed to add, but yeah, it's definitely, it's good to have the oversight and have it detailed in the regs.
Good. As long as there's oversight on it, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything, let's see what's next. Bartier Conservation Commission request for comment, the 50 High Plain Street land disturbance.
Sure. So this is from the Conservation Commission land disturbance permit for 50 High Street. So this is a proposed project, includes the construction of a 6-lot family subdivision with the roadway and the utilities. It's going to be connected to both town water and town sewer. So here's the project. So there's no wetlands concern for this project. It's just because it disturbs over an acre of property. That's what triggers the need for the land disturbance permit. But there's no 100-foot buffer zone. There's no wetlands shown on the plan. So you can see here. So here's the roadway they're planning on doing off of High Street. I did the proposed dwellings in yellow here. They do have sidewalks and street lights as well, planned out on the plan as well.
Is this going to be a public road or is this private?
I actually don't know. The conservation plan didn't go into whether it's a private road or a public road. I would assume that information we'd get from when we see it from the planning board.
Okay.
But I don't know off the top of my head.
We will see it again.
Like it's called this stuff though, right? So I don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be a private road.
I'm not positive.
Yeah.
I'll just take into account the trash recycling piece of it and all that, but we'll see this again during the planning.
I would assume that we would see this again from the planning board.
Okay. So from the Conservation Commission point of view and for wetland issues, doesn't seem like we have much. We have no initial concern. Okay. Anybody want to make a motion regarding the 50 High Street?
I'll make a motion in regards to the land disturbance permit 50 High Street. The Board of Health has no specific concerns at this time.
Perfect. And we hear a second?
Second.
Perfect. Motion made and second. Any other comments? Then we will vote on the comments. Go Mona,
Aye.
Rachel,
Aye.
and Brenda.
Aye.
I also, so 400. And then the next from Conservation Commission is the Old North Street Notice of Intent. It's like this is a new lot, huh?
Yep, so this is a new lot, the construction of a single-family dwelling, and a portion of the construction is within the 100-foot buffer zone. And it's gonna be connected to town water as well as have a on-site sewage disposal system.
Okay.
So here is the plan. So you can see in green here, I highlighted the edge of the wetlands, and then the 100-foot buffer zone here in yellow. So of course, a portion of the house is in the 100-foot buffer zone, as well as the driveway here. I did check just to make sure that the septic system as proposed here does meet the Title V as well as our own septic regulations for setbacks.
It's the house within the 100, as we see so very often. Any other comments from the board? Questions?
I guess we'll do the the same old motion
Yeah.
Mhm.
again,
So we'll-
but
Mona, you want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion in regards to the notice of intent brought to Old North Street. The Board of Health has the long stand that we're against any new construction within the 100-foot buffer zone. But considering just in case this project gets approved, we highly recommend that the residents would follow the proper steps in order to mitigate mosquito control, like cleaning the gutter, contacting the Norfolk County mosquito control.
Okay.
And all, you know,
Our standard wording.
yeah.
Okay. Motion's been made. Do we hear a second? I will second it. Motion made second. Any other comments? And we will vote on the Conservation Commission request for comments to Old North Street. Mona
Aye.
and Brenda
Aye.
and Rachel.
Aye.
I also. So comments are posted 400. Next, we have behind schedule, but the planning board request for comment, revised site plan for the Renmar Avenue West Street project.
Sure. So this is one we saw back in March, as well as in 2019. So this is a revised site plan. So it includes the construction of 100 single-family detached residential condominium homes, as well as the clubhouse and property maintenance facility at the subject property. So we last saw this in March. We commented that they are opposed to the construction within the wetlands, and then as well as making sure that the mitigation strategies that were decided upon at the December 17th meeting were still in place. Those included a designated person to work with the Norfolk County Mosquito Control 2 times every spring to perform treatments for on-site wet basin as well as the remainder of the property. An annual gutter cleaning conducted during the early spring months, installation and maintenance of an active fountain in the stagnant water found in wet basin number 3. And then the briquettes are to be in all catch basins found on the property. And then the modified site plan includes changes to grading in several areas, the addition of a water main labeled on the plan, and then the addition of a retaining wall. So pretty minor revisions. And as a reminder, here is the site plan. So in green here, I have the edge of the wetlands. In pink is the no disturb line, and then in blue is the 100-foot buffer zone.
Okay, any questions from anybody?
Okay. There it
Okay.
is.
Does anyone want to make a motion regarding the request for comments from the planning board? Really just on those, well, our existing comments, but also the minor changes as mentioned. Don't everybody jump.
Mm.
Someone want to do it?
So I had myself on mute. I was talking all the time.
It was the best motion ever.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion in regards to the Renmar Avenue and West Street revised site plan approval and special permits to the Board of Health would like to reiterate the comments from the March 7, 2023, and the comments from the December 17, 2019 Board of Health meeting. What else should we, like, everything that was mentioned within the last, like the measures, taken to be, these were all mentioned in the March 7th meeting, right?
Yep.
The designated person to work with Norfolk County. So we don't need to add anything to that, right?
No, just the last line there is the only modification
Modified
that we're
site plan.
looking at. So if there's any
Okay.
comments about that modification, I guess you can make that as the only
Okay.
change.
Okay, so the modified site plan includes changes to the grading in several areas, the addition of the water main labeled on the plan, and the addition of a retaining wall are to be added or changed. These are the new changes.
No concerns with those?
No concerns.
Motion has been made. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Go
Seconded.
ahead, Brenda.
Perfect. Motion made and seconded. Any other comments? Then we will vote. And we'll start with Mona
Aye.
and Brenda
Aye.
and Rachel.
Aye.
And I abstain.